Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that's been gaining a lot of steam, vibe coding. It's this whole new way of thinking, powered by a tool called Replit AI, that promises to let you turn your ideas into actual software with practically zero friction.
You know this feeling, right? You've got this brilliant, game-changing idea for an app, but then you hit a wall. The sheer technical complexity of just getting started. Well, that's the barrier we're talking about, and it's where countless amazing ideas just die.
Okay, so the old way of doing things was, let's be honest, a pain. You've had to set up languages, configure a bunch of tools, wrestle with the command line. It was this whole frustrating process before you could write a single line of actual code. Well, this new approach, it just throws all of that out the window. The entire creation process now lives right in your browser. Zero setup required.
And at the very heart of this change is a philosophy Replit calls vibe coding. And it's a huge shift in how we think about building things. It completely changes your job description. Instead of stressing about syntax, your number one skill becomes simply describing your creative vision in plain English. This analogy is just perfect for describing the change. You are no longer the bricklayer, meticulously placing every single semicolon and bracket. No. Now you are the architect. You're focused on the big picture, the grand design. And the AI? That's your construction crew, handling all the heavy lifting to make your vision a reality. So, how does this actually work under the hood? Well, Replit AI isn't just one single tool. Think of it more like a team of two distinct AI partners that work together. And understanding their different roles is really the key to using them effectively. And the way they split up the work is actually really simple. The agent is like the project architect. It takes your big idea, your blueprint, and it builds the entire house from the ground up. Then the assistant comes in. It's like your pair programmer, the buddy who works right alongside you to furnish the rooms, fix any issues, and tweak things line by line. So the agent handles all that high-level structural work. We're talking configuring the entire environment, scaffolding out the whole project, integrating services like a database, and it can even write and run some initial tests on the app it just created for you. The assistant, meanwhile, is your over-the-shoulder partner for all the detailed, in-the-weeds work. It'll suggest code as you type, explain confusing bits in plain English if you ask it to, help you squash bugs, and even refactor your code to make it cleaner and more efficient. Okay, that's all the theory, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's just walk through the whole journey, from a simple idea in your head to a live, shareable application on the web. It's a ridiculously fast process, really just 6 steps. You sign up, you describe your idea, the AI comes back with a plan for you to review, and then you literally just watch it build everything. From there, you jump in with the assistant to refine the details, and whenever you're ready, you deploy it to the world with a single click. But before we go any further, I have to talk about one critical feature that gets rid of the biggest fear for any beginner, and that's the fear of breaking everything. This is an absolute game changer. Replit automatically saves checkpoints of your project. So if you make a mistake or go down some crazy path that doesn't work out, you can restore your entire project to a previous working version with just one click. It gives you the freedom to experiment fearlessly. So in this new world of vibe coding, your success depends a lot less on knowing perfect syntax and way more on how well you can communicate your ideas to the AI. This is the new craft you have to master. And to get the best results, you really have to learn how to communicate effectively. Don't just give it a single command. Treat it more like a conversation. Give it rich context. You can literally paste a URL to documentation or even upload a picture of a design you like. And yeah, learning just a little bit of the basic dev lingo, it can make a huge difference. All right, it's easy to get excited about all the possibilities here. But let's build some trust by looking at the real-world challenges of using a tool this powerful. It's not magic, and it's really important to know its limits. So let me just answer this question right off the bat. Is the AI a perfect coder? The short answer is no, not even close. And understanding its limitations is absolutely crucial if you want to use it successfully without pulling your hair out. These are the real risks you gotta watch out for. The AI can hallucinate, which means it'll just confidently invent facts or code that doesn't exist. It can also perform something called diagnostic theater, where it pretends to fix a problem that it actually created itself. And maybe the most important one is the risk of learned helplessness, where you become so reliant on the AI that you stop learning the fundamental skills yourself. And of course, you have to understand the pricing.
The free starter plan is a great way to just play around, but your projects are all public and your access to the AI is pretty limited. The paid core plan is what really unlocks the full power. That gets you private projects and full access to the AI agent, which you pay for with a monthly allowance of credits.
So, with all of this in mind, the power, the workflow, and the very real risks, what's the big takeaway for someone who just wants to create things?
Well, the conclusion is pretty clear. Replit AI successfully lowers the barrier to entry for making software down to almost zero. It lets your creativity and your vision finally take center stage without being blocked by all that technical setup.
But to be successful, you have to have the right mindset. You've got to treat the AI like a powerful but flawed collaborator. Your job is to guide it, to verify its work with a critical eye, and to use its explain code feature not just as a crutch, but as a tool to build your own actual knowledge. You have to trust it, but always verify, and most importantly, understand what it's doing.
Ultimately, this whole shift isn't just about building a single app. It's about redefining what it even means to be a creator in a world where your vision matters so much more than your syntax. So the only question left, really, is, are you ready to start building?